Hi everyone and welcome for this exciting new project. As you can see, we are working on a reused canvas. It is around 150 centimeter in diameter, and as you can also see on the screen, I'm using some concrete, and this one is called Kreativbeton, so a concrete for creatives or for artists. But to be honest, I would just go for a regular concrete which you can get in every hobby market or Home Depot store or whatever for the next time, because this might be cheaper. But for this first experiment here, it was the perfect thing to go for. And other than that, you can also see some roses lying there, which actually have nothing really to do with the project itself. We just had to cut back our roses, and I thought it might give me an interesting look and texture in comparison with the concrete, but it totally did not work. So don't really bother, I just had them here on video footage, but you really don't need it. And other than that, it is pretty easy to do, but it is also really fun to do. So in the first steps, I'm going to mix up my concrete, and it's written on the container how to mix it, so there is no need to tell in the video. And other than that, I'm going to use the concrete against the smooth and shiny surface of a resin pour to give me this high contrast look when it comes to texture. So I wanted the rougher and bumpy look of the concrete against the smooth and even look. Of course, there's glitter in the resin as well compared to the resin itself. So this idea popped into my mind a couple of days ago, and I was too excited to get started with it. Of course, I had a design in mind, and therefore I went for half of the canvas in the half moon shaped, wanted to give this the rougher concrete look. The other part was supposed to be resin in the end. But when I had my first layer of concrete down in the half moon shaped, I wondered if it looked better if I added some concrete on the other side as well, just to have the resin in the middle of them, like a river or a stream of resin, you know what I mean? And so I wasn't really sure if this was the perfect right decision, but it felt right at this point, so I just went for it and added some more of the concrete on the other side of the painting. This of course put pretty much weight onto my canvas, and I wasn't really sure if this is going to dry perfectly, if it's going to dry and flake up from the canvas, because there already was an acrylic layer underneath and it cannot really grab to the canvas. I had no idea. I just let it cure and sit until the next day, let it dry, which made it become a bit lighter of course again, and it worked perfectly. So everything was really glued perfectly together. And on plus of this, it had the look that I was going for, a really rough and edgy look. To get this look even rougher, I just used my palette knife to go over the halfway dried concrete and scratching over it just to give it really rough. I wanted to use the leaves from the roses, but it really didn't work to give me any texture. So this was just I don't know, dumb idea, but yeah, it's what it is. But don't go for it. So when the first step was done, it was time to mix the resin. I have used the Mastercast resin for this, and for the pigments, I again used the pigments which Susanna and Laura had sent over to me for the group challenge, and it's from Rez Expressions. It is the teal pigment paste, it is the angel white, and I had to use the dark blue pigment paste from Resonate. And if you can get your hands on these paints, you really have to. I just love them. This teal is among the prettiest colors on earth. And their angel white is just brilliant because it does so great lacing. And if you are in Australia, you can get this from Susanna directly, and if you are US based, you can order it from Laura, who is distributing these colors over the US. When it comes to the application of the colors, I went for the dark blue, where the resin is going to hit the rougher edges of the concrete. I poured the teal more into the middle and the white into the very center, because I wanted this color to intermix with the teal and form these shades of teal. So really pretty lacing between the white and the teal itself. And as this white itself is lacing super pretty, I was sure it will give me a cool look in the end. I just heated it up with the heat gun to make it more liquid, used my hairdryer to blow it over, and waited what happens. Due to the concrete, the canvas itself was not completely level anymore due to the weight that it actually put onto the canvas, and so I had not really an expectation for the final design at all. I knew that the resin is going to flow a bit quicker as it was warmer, and I actually just want to see where it is going to end up. And lucky me, it has a super sweet look at the end. You'll see in the end of the video when I filmed it in sunlight. As I had some of the resin left, I wondered if it gives me a cool look when I pour some lines over the rough and edgy part of the concrete. It really did, but at the point when I did it, the resin itself was still too liquid, so it soaked a bit into the concrete and it feathered out and did not really stay in shape as I imagined it at this point. So I corrected this off camera, but I'm going to tell you what I did. When everything was completely cured, I just used a bit more of the concrete and corrected the feathered out edges, and then mixed up new resin, the same pigments, and let it sit for about, I think, almost an hour. So it was over the working time of the resin. It already started thickening, and then I just poured over the same lines. But as the resin was thickened up already, it just stood in shape. It worked perfectly. I of course added glitter to it. This time it worked as I imagined it. It worked great. It stood out, and you will see once the end result is in sunlight that it just looks pretty. Yeah, actually this is everything that I did for it, and I really enjoyed making this project, and I can only encourage every one of you giving this a try as well. If you cannot get your hands on the concrete itself, you can just use plaster, just a pure plaster, or mix some tiny stones into it to give it a rough and edgy look. Whatever you want, be creative. And yeah, it just reminds me of, I don't know, a space nebula when I look at it, or some spatial rift or something. And you know how crazy I get when it comes to a space scene. I just love it. And this look overall is among the prettiest things that I could have imagined for this piece. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me also know if you had fun watching and if it perhaps inspired you trying something like this yourself. If you did already and want to show me, you can find all my social media in the description box underneath of the video. And I've also put you some of the products that I've used down there if you want to have a look at those as well. If you wonder and want to support me as an artist and this channel in general, you can also visit my Etsy store, and I would be super happy and glad if some of my paintings would find a new home. If you liked the video, if you liked the idea, make sure to give me a thumbs up and share the video with everyone you know. Click the subscribe button if you haven't done already, and the bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos. So thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and other than that, I hope to see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.